Capito. We're privileged to have the ranking member, the vice chair of the full committee with us today. Senator Murray, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Chair Moran. It's good to work with you and Ranking Member Van Hollen in this new position, so look forward to both of you and the work on this committee. You know, the FBI does really crucial work to keep our nation safe, whether it's stopping criminal organizations or domestic terrorists, protects our nation's secrets, it prevents cyber attacks, keeps our children safe from harm, and a lot more. So this is really sober work with extremely high stakes. And I'm concerned that instead of focusing on the incredibly important mandate to keep Americans safe and to help impartially enforce our laws under your leadership, Director Patel, the FBI has been weaponized to go after Americans who disagree with the president. FBI resources have been diverted away from combating terrorism to focusing on immigration requests. And all of this, the diverted missions, the fewer resources, fewer agents, heightened politicization, is happening now under your watch, and it is, I believe, making Americans less safe. Now, let me just start with the budget. As Ranking Member Van Hollen noted earlier, this hearing is being held without the FBI's fiscal year 2025 spend plan and a full budget request for fiscal year 2026. The spend plan is required by law. It was due to Congress over a week ago. We have not yet seen it. That is really absurd. The FBI is our nation's leading law enforcement agency, a budget of $10.7 billion. It is critical that we understand how you are spending taxpayer dollars. So, Director Patel, when should we expect this FY25 spend plan for the FBI? Have you seen it? Have you reviewed it? When will we get it?
I'll get you an answer.
What's up, patriots? Welcome back to the Conservative Chronicle, where we speak truth, defend the Constitution, and cut through the noise. Now, today, folks, we got a hot one. I just watched a video from Forbes Breaking News, where Senator Patty Murray goes head-to-head with Kash Patel, who's serving as FBI Director under President Trump. And let me tell you, it's not just tense. It's a full-blown attempt by the radical left to paint patriots and protectors of law and order as villains in their political circus. So buckle up, folks. We're going to break it down point by point. And I'm going to give you the real story, not the spoon-fed nonsense from the D.C. elite and their media puppets. There it is, right out the gate. Senator Murray accuses the FBI under Kash Patel of being weaponized against people who disagree with the president. Now hold up. That's rich coming from a Democrat. Considering the FBI under their watch spied on a sitting president's campaign, falsified FISA warrants, and pushed a fake Russia collusion narrative for years. But now they want to cry foul? Give me a break.
I'll get you an answer, ma'am. I don't have a timeline on that.
It was due last week by law.
I understand.
And your answer is you just understand. You're not going to follow the law?
My answer is that I am following the law, and I'm working with my interagency partners to do this and get you the budget that you are required to have.
And you have no timeline?
No.
Well, we also need a full budget request, not a single paragraph full of wild talking points that we saw with the skinny budget proposal. We're now having a budget hearing without a budget request. So, Director Patel, where is the FY 2026 budget request for the FBI?
It's being worked on, ma'am.
Have you reviewed it? Have you approved it?
Not yet.
When will we get it?
As soon as I can get it from my interagency partners and get it approved.
6 months from now?
I don't know, ma'am. I'm not going to make
Well,
up a
how do
timeline.
we as Congress do our budget and our work without that request and without the spend plan?
Well, ma'am, I'm here. I'm
don't
doing the
care.
best I can. I can't make up answers. I'm going to commit to you to work on getting you the information you need.
That is insufficient and deeply disturbing. No response?
I've given my response.
Well, the FBI is already down 1,900 employees since 2023 as a direct result of the Fiscal Responsibility Act. And under the Trump administration, FBI agents, analysts, linguists, cyber experts, and scientists are being asked to do a lot more in order to keep us safe. Director Patel, we all know that budget cuts will reduce the FBI's ability to counter threats of terrorism, and it will hinder its ability to keep pace with firearm background checks and shutter operations that combat violent crime, drugs, gangs, and transnational organized crime. Now, I understand that you told our House colleagues yesterday that you don't want to reduce the FBI workforce, meaning that you disagree with what President Trump is proposing?
No, I agree that we can sustain the mission with the proposed budget, and I agree with the budget. And as I said yesterday, I believe that what I said was I can do more with more. And I gave examples of what more we could do if we were given more.
Well, it's different than what you told the House yesterday. So what are you communicating to the President and the White House about what you need and what, and again, we don't have a budget request from you, so I'm not sure what you're asking us for.
I'm not asking you for anything at this time.
You can operate without a budget?
I never said that.
Well, this is unprecedented. Okay, well, let me just go to another topic since you're not going to answer that. The FBI partners with state, local, and tribal law enforcement organizations. They provide critical intelligence and operational capabilities to combat violent crime and gangs and terrorist threats, fentanyl trafficking, challenges that our local communities really can't face alone. I'm going to give you an example. A few years ago, the Southeast Washington Safe Streets FBI Task Force worked with our Benton County and Franklin County Sheriff's Office, multiple Tri-Cities police departments, and the State Corrections Department to carry out one of the largest ever drug seizures in the region's history. Now we've got an administration already cutting more than $800 million in assistance in 2025 to local law enforcement organizations while proposing a $500 million cut for the FBI. Director Patel, can you explain to this committee how cutting resources for our local law enforcement partner agencies the FBI relies on to help your bureau keep safe? How do you expect the FBI and local law enforcement to do more without those significant resources they need?
The FBI will continue to do what it does, which is work with embedded state and local law enforcement officers in our Joint Terrorism Task Force, in our Safe Streets Task Force, in our gang task forces. Those are a priority. Those billets have been maintained. Those billets have not been reduced. And with my reorientation, reprogramming that we've notified Congress to, you will see an augmentation in the field in every single state in this country.
Well, again, we need to see the numbers and we need to see that budget from you. Let me ask you about the NICS system. The FBI is really on the front lines of keeping guns out of the hands of very dangerous criminals. The NICS serves a really critical role in enhancing national security and public safety by conducting background checks. You know this. They are supported by the vast majority of American people, and I wanted to ask you this morning, will you commit to continuing to fund and run the FBI background check system?
Yes.
Thank you. I want to ask one final question here, Mr. Chairman. I want to talk again about how the FBI is focusing its resources. President Trump has turned the Department of Justice into a tool to go after his perceived enemies, and many of the actions we have now seen at the FBI are alarming. The FBI has reassigned and pushed out career FBI agents for political reasons. We have seen fear and intimidation promoted throughout the Bureau, including by polygraphing your own staff. We've seen the arrest of a sitting judge in Wisconsin. And during your confirmation hearing, you committed that there would be no politicization, no retribution at the FBI under your leadership. You've reportedly placed FBI employees responsible for investigation January 6 cases on leave. Is that keeping up your promise of no politicization, no retribution?
It is, because that's wildly inaccurate. Let me tell you what the FBI has done since I got there. 8,276 federal arrests, to 820 kilograms seized of fentanyl. That's enough to kill 250,000 people. Over 3,000 firearms seized, 350 gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent criminals.
That's not my question. We know that you...
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the Constitution.
So if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethical obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI, and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you,
We are.
Chairman.
Senator Kennedy.
Let's be clear. What Kash Patel is doing is depoliticizing the FBI, cleaning up the mess they left behind. And instead of supporting him, they want to destroy his credibility because he's not playing their corrupt D.C. game. You heard that? She's grilling him for not submitting a spend plan on time, as if he's breaking the law. Folks, Kash Patel didn't dodge the question. He told her straight. He's working with interagency partners. It's bureaucratic process, not criminal neglect. This isn't about a deadline. It's about the fact that Murray and her buddies want to micromanage and bully the FBI into serving their agenda. Meanwhile, under Patel's leadership, the FBI is getting back to basics, fighting gangs, seizing fentanyl, stopping terrorists. Over 820 kilograms of fentanyl off the streets. That's enough to kill 250,000 Americans. But Murray doesn't want to talk about that. No, she'd rather obsess over whether Patel hurt the feelings of some politicized analyst who was involved in the January 6th or Russia investigations. Boom. There it is. Patel made it clear. No one was disciplined without due cause. No witch hunts. Just accountability. Now I know that a foreign concept in D.C., where people like Comey, Brennan, and Clapper get CNN contracts instead of handcuffs. But out here in real America, we respect law and order. And let's not forget Murray's crying about budget cuts and workforce reductions. But who's responsible for that? Congress. If she really cared about local law enforcement, she wouldn't have supported bills that choke police funding and demonize officers as systemic racists. Now she's mad the FBI is down 1,900 employees. You defund cops. You demoralize agents. You trash them on national TV, and you're shocked they leave? And here's the best part. Patel doesn't whine. He doesn't play victim. He says, give me more, I'll do more. He's a man on a mission. That's leadership. Folks, that's serving the country, not some party platform. And credit where it's due, when Murray asked if he continued the FBI background check system, Patel gave a simple, firm yes. No dodging. No politics. Just commitment to public safety. Now that's the kind of straight talk we need more of in D.C. Look, I'll say this plain. The American people are sick and tired of career politicians like Patty Murray playing political theater, while real patriots like Kash Patel are out there fighting drug cartels, busting gangs, and stopping threats they won't even acknowledge. We've seen what the weaponization government really looks like, from the IRS targeting conservatives, to the DOJ labeling parents as domestic terrorists, to the FBI raiding pro-life activists while ignoring real crime in the streets. And you know what? We've had enough. Kash Patel represents a shift or return to constitutional law enforcement, not woke politics. And if that makes him tense in a hearing with leftist senators, then good. That means he's doing something right. Thanks for watching, Patriots. If you support law and order, accountability, and draining the swamp, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video far and wide. Let's stand with those who are standing for us. I'm Conservative Chronicle, and this has been the Liberty Brief. Until next time, stay strong, stay free, and God bless the United States of America.